Hello Planet Internet, I'm Emperor Cole and this is a presentation of MindbenderENT.com. And today I'm here to discuss the Avengers Infinity War. I'm going to tell you which characters might not make it out alive and why. There's a lot of discussion on the internet about who might die, but I'm going to give you the most definitive list of who's not going to make it. And of course I'm going to give you a compelling argument of why they're not going to make it. Let's take on Thanos and let's take this journey together. Let's do it. Okay, so it pains me to have to say this very first one, but Iron Man. With me being such a huge Iron Man fan, I hate to have to say it, but I do not think he's going to make it out of this movie alive. With Robert Downey Jr. being in the news as saying that he was tired of playing the character, he did not enjoy the working out, he didn't enjoy the dieting, and the physical regimen that went into preparing and getting ready for each film. The entire cinematic universe was built around the character Iron Man, so naturally you're going to have to lock him down for more movies. Initially, Marvel was not 100% sure if this was going to work, so they did not lock Robert Downey Jr. down in a long contract. It was basically one-off contracts for each film. And of course, as the movies did well and we saw what the box office numbers were, and then, of course, his star in Hollywood was going up where he was back on the A-list and doing well. Naturally, they had to pay him more money. For example, for the very first Iron Man movie, he was only paid $500,000, which is solid. You know, anybody'd be happy to earn that. The second Iron Man film, because of what the box office receipts were, his price tag went up and they had to pay him $10 million. Excellent payday, right? For the third Iron Man film, they had to pay Robert Downey Jr. $50 million. And it just gets even better after that. For the Avengers, he earned between 70 and 100 million because of course they had to pay him a fee up front and then he earned a percentage of the back end. For Avengers 2, they had to pay him $40 million up front and then he earned a percentage of the back end. And once again, he cashed in between 70 and 80 million dollars. For this third Avengers movie, there's a rumor that for the third and fourth film, he may be paid around $150 each movie. So, hey, if you can get the money, definitely get it. But that's the reason why I do not think Iron Man is going to make it out. What's going to happen with the actual character? I expect Tony Stark to sacrifice himself for the team, where there'll be some kind of a dramatic moment where somebody's going to have to do something or stay somewhere to make sure the team's able to escape or to complete some kind of a big task. Stark is going to sacrifice himself and Stark's going to end up dying. Or I expect they're going to be in a big battle with Thanos, and maybe Thanos is just going to actually rip the suit off of Iron Man and kill Tony Stark, and then maybe that'll be a catalyst for a bunch of other guys to finally come together. Maybe the team will finally come together, and that'll be the thing they need to finally battle Thanos and decide to kill him or get rid of him. Kind of like when Agent Coulson died in the original Avengers. And then going forward with the Iron Man character, of course there's going to be a new Iron Man. Somebody else is going to have to be in the suit, and somebody else will take on the name and the mantle. If you're very familiar with Iron Man 3, there was that young boy who Tony Stark was with who helped him repair the suit. There's a rumor that that actor is being brought back into the fold to Marvel. So expect him to be 7 or 8 years older, and maybe he's going to become the new Iron Man. It's just a theory for now, but of course, when we see the Avengers Infinity War, we'll find out for sure. So next up on the list of characters who I think are going to die in the Avengers Infinity War, next is Captain America. I do not think Steve Rogers is going to make it out of this movie alive. I expect him to have some type of a heroic death where he's either going to sacrifice himself for the team, or he's going to get into some kind of a mano-a-mano fight with Thanos or some other cosmic character where he's dramatically overmatched, but he still goes down fighting. He gives it everything he has. Maybe he kills the guy and he also dies from his wounds or injuries, and that'll serve once again as some kind of a catalyst or something to help motivate the team or the world. Of course, the comics and the movies are not 100% the same. Oftentimes, the producers of the movies will take some of the storylines or some of the things that happens in the comic book and they'll do a new updated version of it for the actual film. In this particular case, I expect Steve Rogers to have some kind of a dramatic death. Maybe he dies at City Hall trying to defend the city versus Thanos or somebody else. And maybe they'll have the iconic picture of him laid out dead on the actual City Hall steps like they did in the comic book. But expect something of that nature to actually happen with this. As far as the actual character of Captain America, I think either Falcon or Bucky is going to become the new Captain America. They'll probably wear their version of the costume, but that's what happened in the comic book. Will it 100% happen in the movie? We'll have to see and find out. So expect for the Winter Soldier to be brought from Wakanda. Maybe he'll get like a vibranium new arm or something, and he may become the new Captain America, or maybe Falcon, since he's on the team and he's like closely related to Steve and they're friends. Maybe he'll take on the mantle and he'll become the new Captain America. As far as Chris Evans goes, the actual guy who plays the character Steve Rogers / Captain America, he's on record in an interview in late 2014 where he said that he was actually getting tired of acting overall and he was far more interested in directing and producing. So even though that was a couple of years ago, it could definitely be the writing on the wall that he's almost done playing this character. He sounded like he was almost done with acting overall. Of course, maybe a day or so later he released a statement backtracking on what he said, but he wouldn't have initially made that statement if that wasn't what he really felt in his heart. And of course, the next person on my list who I think is going to die in Avengers Infinity War is Vision. Vision is almost guaranteed to die in this movie because he has the Infinity Gem, the Mind Stone, embedded into his head. In Avengers Age of Ultron, that's how he was able to come to life and inhabit the body of this Ultra android that Ultron had created for himself. And when the Mind Stone was put into it, somehow Vision's essence and his soul or what have you was put into the machine or into the body, and he came to life and he was able to exist as he does now. Of course, the Mad Titan Thanos is coming to Earth. He's doing the job himself. He's going to get these stones to put into the Infinity Gauntlet. At some point, I expect Vision to square off against Thanos, and I expect Thanos to rip that Infinity Stone out of his head. He's either going to rip it out of his head or possibly crush his skull and take it. It's going to be a it's going to be a scene in the movie that's definitely going to take people by surprise. How Marvel's going to do it, I have no idea, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. But it's something you can almost bank on happening. But will this character stay dead? That's a whole nother story. With the fact that he has this love affair going with the Scarlet Witch, and with the fact that we know Doctor Strange is supposed to appear in this movie at some point, I expect that the Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange are going to be able to cook up something between their powers and somehow bring the Vision back to life, where he'll be able to exist and live and go forward in the Marvel Universe without having the Mind Stone in his head. That's just a theory. It's going to be the most controversial pick because this is the one most people will not see coming. But I'm going to have to say, I think the Incredible Hulk / Bruce Banner is going to die in this movie. Why? Marvel has been flirting with the idea of doing World War Hulk, and there's been some rumors and some buzz that in maybe Avengers Part 4, that the Hulk is actually going to be the villain. And Hulk is going to come back to Earth and be tearing shit up and they're going to have to stop him. The way I think they're going to achieve this is Hulk is going to die in the Avengers Infinity War Part 3. Somehow maybe Hela or some evil bad guy or some person in cosmic space or something, they're going to figure out a way to how to bring Hulk back, or maybe how to inhabit his body and be able to take his powers and incorporate them in someone else. So that is how we get to the World War Hulk storyline, where Hulk somehow comes back to Earth and now he's being used as a weapon against the Avengers. Perhaps somehow Bruce Banner and the Hulk are actually separated. Maybe the Collector or some other cosmic being or somebody in space related to the Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe they might have some kind of a potion or some kind of machine where they're able to separate the two sides of Bruce Banner. Maybe they're able to separate his souls or something. Perhaps Banner's DNA is taken and he's cloned, and this is how they come up with the Red Hulk. Okay, and my last pick of who may die in this film, this one is a complete wild card because most people will not see this character coming. He's only appeared in one Marvel film, and even though we didn't see his death, people assume that he's dead, but people who really pay attention to the movies and really get extra into it know that he's not dead. Who am I speaking of? The Red Skull. A theory that I have is that somehow, since the Tesseract is supposed to have unlimited power, and I believe in the Avengers it was said that the Tesseract is kind of like a gateway or it's a doorway, it opens on both sides. Maybe these last couple of years, he's been on some other world, getting stronger, more powerful. He's been exposed to all kinds of power and weaponry and maybe some super high-tech space-age gadgetry. So he comes back to Earth with Thanos, and maybe it's revealed that he's actually helping Thanos, and he's a person coming for conquest, trying to take over. But of course, the Red Skull sees himself as being the superior villain. He thinks he's so intelligent, he's so strong. There's no way he could have himself be a minion or a second string guy to Thanos. So at some point in the movie, maybe he tries to double cross Thanos and Thanos ends up killing him. Or perhaps when he realizes that Thanos wants to destroy Earth, he's not going to put him in charge of Earth. Then maybe that the Red Skull decides, you know what? I have to do something to help take this guy out. And maybe he's the person who kills Captain America, or perhaps him and Captain America get into a crazy battle where they both end up killing each other. So that's my theory on the Red Skull. Red Skull is going to show up in this movie. He's going to play a pivotal part. It's going to be something that nobody sees coming. And of course, the Red Skull is going to actually die in this movie. I am Emperor Cole, and this has been the Avengers Infinity War, Who Will Die? Theories that we've come up with at Mindbender Entertainment. If you are a superheroes fan, if you enjoy the Marvel, DC, all superhero type movies, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel because, of course, we've got a lot more material and content just like this that's going to be posted on a regular basis. If you are a movies fan, of course, we have movie reviews here on this channel. You can definitely check those out. And of course, make sure you check out the company, Mindbender Entertainment, at facebook.com/Mindbender Entertainment. Follow us on Twitter at MindbenderENT. And of course, check out the website, mindbenderent.com. And remember, the future is now.